Hi, everyone. Hi. I always love getting together with you. Let me know who's coming on, who you are, where you're from. I love the interaction. So today we're going to be talking about the matrix and the power of the matrix. Hello, Julie. Let me know where you're all from. And as we go along, I love to have questions. Remember that. Hello, hello, Nell. So the matrix, our matrix in our quantum biofeedback device is amazing. It refers to a complex web of energies that interact with us, with our human body. It gives us information. It gives us the story. It gives us the thought as a dynamic, multidimensional system with information on our physical self, emotional, spiritual well-being at all levels. Using our device, we scan, we analyze the body's energetic patterns, we identify imbalances of stress, and all this information can be used for identifying underlying causes of symptoms. We analyze the matrix, we gain insight in the energetic causes based, as what I said, on the physical, emotional, and spiritual systems. We personalize our treatment plans accordingly based on what our matrix gives us and the story that's created. We customize our plans and we address specific energetic imbalances while promoting an overall well-being. We monitor our progress, we adjust our treatments accordingly, we keep track, we identify. We learn this in our technician course of how we keep track of our sessions with our reporting progress. It's very important to have a reporting basis if you're working as a professional. When we're talking about the matrix, we're reading the matrix, and we want to cover certain things today that we'll be going over. First of all, the energetic frequencies and the vibrations and how the energetic frequencies and vibrations interact with our body, influencing and how they influence us and how we can understand the matrix better. We can see the chakras and energetic centers through the matrix. We can see quantum entanglement and non-locality. Quantum entanglement is that's the thing that makes us different, our devices, because we have that quantum entanglement, and that is where the particles are non-local. We can be here and they can be there and everywhere at the same time. That's why we can do subspace work and our intention. Okay. We'll see how we can be reading the matrix. Okay, so let's get on to work. I know that you're all excited about this. So today we're going to be doing me, but I'll be also putting all of you and all of us on as a whole, and I'll show you how we can do this. Let's attend the biorhythm concern today. Where am I? I'm critical in my thyroid and hormone and metabolism. Let's treat that, because the biorhythms, our biorhythms and our stars, let's say, our astrological map can affect us. Okay, so we do like to reduce that stress around us before we're doing testing if it comes up as an issue. So let's go through that till everything is rectified at all levels. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Tell me who you are. Tell me. I want to know who you are and questions if you have any so we can cover today. That's why we're here today. I like the interaction, and let me know where you're from. We're just about there, rectifying. From Australia, Julie. So let's, Hungary, great. So let's close here. I wish we had a group photo of all of us. I only have me. I took that today for our specialist course in Romania already. Hey, thank you, Anelia. So this is a good time to go over any questions until we go through testing. Hello, Peter. Haram. Cheers. Hello, Adriana. Okay, and let's close the calibration and let's go to testing. And before I go into testing, let's put us all as a group today on the origami field. Hello, Michaela. And add more patients to subspace treatment here. And we're going to put us as a group members of webinar on the quantum matrix. Matrix of June 18th, 2025. So all group members. Okay. Hello, Soren. All right. So I've put us all on, and let's put a thought, an intention, okay, to good health. We all have good health. We magnetize. We are in the realm of wellness, happiness, okay, and prosperity at all levels, okay? We live our life in the now and are happy, okay? Let's put the 528 hertz around the frequency of the miracle frequency. I like putting spiritual harmony, okay, and interactive. And let's activate that origami field. All right, that's active. And let's go for prepare. We'll put all the other piggybacks afterwards. And test. So let's see the information that's going to come up. So if you have any thoughts, any ideas, of what you also want me to cover today. And if I can, I will. If I can't, we'll create another webinar, which I love. Okay. I'll do the best I can do today to answer all questions and cover the matrix like I want to. Information that I'm sure you'll enjoy. So we still have 2 minutes. Any questions till then? So the great thing about our device, as we know, is that quantum entanglement that I mentioned earlier, that it picks up not only what we're thinking, it is a mind reader, right? I know that you've seen this over and over again, and it never ceases to amaze me how things come up in the device as thoughts, as what the other person is thinking and feeling, or even from afar, from subspace and virtual work. Of course, you know the difference between subspace and virtual work and actual on harness. Okay, I like to clarify that because it's very important. Working in subspace mode and virtual mode is not biofeedback. It is quantum entanglement. It is spiritual work. It's quantum feedback, not biofeedback. When we're talking about biofeedback, we have to be on harness. And when we're talking about as a medical device, it's only on harness. Okay. Everything else is quantum entanglement, virtual, spiritual healing, and our intent. So we need to clarify those two when we're talking about, you cannot say you're doing virtual work and you're doing quantum biofeedback. That's not the case. It's not a medical device when we're doing virtual work. Okay, it's spiritual work. It's your intention. It does work. It's something that physicists cannot explain. Scientists cannot explain, but it is there. It's the quantum entanglement. So let's go. Here we go with the matrix, and the results are on all of us because I not only put myself, but I put all of us on, right? So it's kind of a little difficult what I did just now, but let's try to make a story, because the truth being said, I should have only done myself so I can try to understand what the story is being told. Now that I put all of us on, there may be a little confusion, but definitely a story is being told. Now, the first thing that we want to, let me start with the simple stuff and we'll go on to the more difficult stuff. Okay, so bear with me if you know certain stuff that I'm going to say now, but I'm going to get on to the more nitty gritty. Okay, first of all, when we're talking about the matrix, we have the index number, okay, which is an index number from 1 to, if you click on it, the highest number here mentioned, I have put some matrix items myself. So your numbers should be up to 10,892, right? If you haven't put any extra additional items in the matrix. I will be showing you how to put additional items if you want, the items that you want to have in the matrix as well as a sample of frequencies. Sometimes we do want these extra things, and I'll tell you in what situations you may want this. All right, so that's the index. If you click on the index, you get them in numerical order. Okay, the index number from 1 to 10,000. All right, this is if you're looking for something specific because you have a protocol and you want to look for an item specifically. You can either do it that way, by searching the number numerically, right? Or if you click on value, this is by default the value item of your reaction, right? The value of your reaction that is put again in a hierarchy, okay, of what is more reacting on you and what is more chronically reacted on you. The small numbers are chronic issues, or they also can be non-reacting issues. It all depends. The difference, well, that takes experience to start trying to understand what the matrix is trying to tell you. The middle numbers that are between 70 and 80 are normal numbers. They're numbers that they're reacting that are non-reacting. The numbers between 70 and 80s are the non-reacting numbers on you. Or they can also be hiding certain information. I'll be telling you about this. So, having said that, when we have our value number, we can and our index number, and you want to find a specific index number because you have a protocol that has a specific index number, let's say 2685. If you want to find number 2685 index number, you put it there and go to index, and there you go. Okay. You can pinpoint and locate a specific index number in that way, or go back to main by putting it in numerical order and just going there. Okay, it all depends on how you wish to work on that. Okay, now that is how in general you can work the index and value. You can also click on name if you're looking for something specific, and it puts all the items in alphabetical order. Okay, so you can do that as well. All right, this facilitates you in trying to locate certain specific items if you wish. All right, other things that you can do here in the matrix are locate and search for specific items. There we have search items and a list of items that we can search. For instance, let's say brain. I like to search for brain and what's going on with brain. Okay, this is a good search and seeing. These are things like stroke and encephalitis, things or memory issues that you would want to see if it's coming up. These are SOS items: encephalitis, stroke, right? Memory issues, brain trauma, brain tumor. Okay, these are things that you would want to see under brain. You wouldn't want to see, but you're just making sure that they're not there. For instance, for brain, or if you look in a search item, let's say onco, that's for tumors, right? That's a search item that you can search, and it comes down certain issues that, okay, may be an issue. So we're looking at the items that are over 90, not only the items that are over 100, we're also looking at 90 and over numbers. Now you'll notice that the matrix is also color-coded, the value numbers. What do the colors of the values mean? The colors of the values, first of all, reds are now. So we have items over 100 that are red, that are issues that are of now. That's what it's saying. The fuchsia colors here are numbers that are last week's. So colors are actually stating the when. Okay? It's giving us an idea of the when. So the fuchsia is last week. or it can, in some situations, it can be a little bit lighter, meaning that maybe if COVID is in the, let's say, fuchsia color, it may be that I came in contact last week with COVID, okay? Whereas if it's in the reds, I got in contact with COVID at present, all right? Next color is yellow. Yellow is within the last month. Yellow colors are within, in the value, are within the last month. All right. When you go then into the blue colors suggest something more chronic. So let me go here in the blue. And depending on the number, you can understand. So when we're talking about chronic, we're talking about 12 months and over. So, but also anything in the 90s is also now. So we can safely say that all these items that are over 90 are issues that are chronic, but in the last year. Okay. Items that are blue and under 60 are chronic issues years back. Okay. Now that we got that settled, what can we do? First off, we have the filters, all right, which are very helpful. Apart from filtering your own filters, like I just showed you, we also have the main matrix filters that are grander filters that we use regularly. I like using the Bach flowers. The Bach flowers really pinpoint issues, psychological issues, and Bach flowers are really great remedies that you can also send as a frequency, but also, you know, they can, people can find Bach flowers too. And the ones that they do suggest here that are over 90 or at least also over 100 are great. You can work with them. Blood. Let's look at the blood. All right. You see two items here over 100. One in the red, copper picolinate. Okay. Copper picolinate for hormones and red blood cells. Interesting. And this is coming up. Can also be for, let's say, insulin or sugar regulation. Okay, inflammation for blood detox. All right. Information here. So this is in the red. These are in the fuchsias. So they're over 100, and it's since last week, let's say. The yellows are for in the last month issues that are still here today with me or with us. All right. I like looking at the combination doctor that gives us an immediate assessment of what needs to be done. Bowel and intestine, lymph, joint issues, general pain, and bowel symptoms. Okay, these are immediate issues that need to be addressed. Diseases, possible diseases. Okay, so when we're talking about the diseases here, a lot of things come up. And I always tell my clients, okay, don't stress about things. Some things can come up. It doesn't mean that you have these things. It means that there is stress around that area. We need to have more understanding of what's going on. Some exams, let's say, maybe there was an issue, and that's why You know, maybe you got tired. Maybe what's happened? What are you doing in your daily lifestyle? Remember, 50% of our issues is due to lifestyle, and our device and our software and our matrix is always telling us things that, you know, if we change our lifestyle, we change the road of which we're going. Like, look here, something we're doing in our lifestyles that is aging us. Okay, so, and that we have to determine what's going on. There's other panels that we go through in pinpointing what can be aging us, but now today I'm focusing mainly on the matrix. Okay, so aging is a factor. What ages us? Stress, not sleeping, not having hydration. Let's take a look a little bit at the Varhope as well in relation to what we're seeing here. Hydration, we're borderline. Oxygenation, we're good. Resistance, a great number. Amperage, 82. This is a number that I rarely see, but volt is low. This has to do with stress. So stress and maybe chronic fatigue. So maybe the chronic fatigue is aging us. We have to look into that. Neurologically, there's a lot of stress going on. Phase angle is good, but phase response is 666. This means that it's weak, meaning that our organs together are not working as an orchestra on some of us. Now, we've put all of us as a group. So on some of us, our organs are not working as they should be. Okay? And the orchestra is off. Impedance, 1,308. That means the energy flow in our body is above normal. So as an immediate, the information that we're getting here, there's chronic fatigue, there's neurological stress. Our electron pressure, although it's above the proton pressure, that's how we want it, it's quite low. We need to get it closer to the 7 factor, okay, like it was in our last visit, meaning that maybe we need more fruits and vegetables, maybe we need more live food to eat, sunlight, something's going on there. So it needs more analysis. Nothing is straightforward. We have to read into things. We have to dig in deeper. A lot of people tell me, oh, this is strange. The information is strange. Well, yeah, we have to understand it. Nothing is just straightforward. We have to try to understand what the device is trying to tell us. Now, here in the disease, in relation to the Varhope, let's take a look. Excess fat in the stools, in Whipple's disease. So there we have to look into the liver issues, metabolic, what's going on. And along with that, there's aging. So something's going on there. Thoracic lesions, pharyngeal boil, okay, some loose teeth. Lead poisoning is a person drinking from filtered water. That's the number one thing that usually comes to mind when we're talking about lead, but not only. Lead poisoning can come from a number of things. And depending where we are in the world, okay, our environment may be burdened, okay, with, heavy metals. So that needs a little investigation of where that could be coming from. Okay, hiccups, gastric anemia. That's another thing. Now, our oxygenation is good. I didn't see something in the blood, but there is the gastric anemia. So that needs some investigation, maybe some blood exams. Okay. Multiple sclerosis is coming up. Now, it doesn't mean a person has multiple sclerosis, but they may be going towards that. And we need some more information. Now, in combination with this sympathetic nerve disorder, with the thoracic lesions, okay, injury to cell membranes and mitochondria, something is happening there. So we do need some more information. If they do have symptoms, we need to look in that. But I always take a picture and always save it in a report and follow it up in their next sessions. And depending on the lifestyle changes needed to be done, either nutritionally or supplements or whatever they're doing that may be off, maybe they're not drinking enough water, but here we're borderline 83, but we still need, if they're drinking good water because the lead poisoning is there. Okay, so certain things need to be looked into according to the information that we got in the SOC of the person, okay, and their follow-ups and what their symptoms may be. Now let's go back into reading our beautiful matrix. Here, emotions, unaware. Awareness of our body is the number one thing, and that's why people come to you, to increase their awareness of what they're doing or not doing, and increasing their awareness of their body. And it's amazing what our quantum biofeedback device can do for increasing our awareness. Okay, anger control, maybe we're off a little bit. We need more joy, feelings of abandonment, feelings that maybe we're judged, more lust. We want to feel more liked, okay? Some confusion, impulsive, some hesitation. We need more laughter in our lives, okay? So these are the emotions that we can use. So a story is being told. Now, how do we read our matrix though? We have to first off look at the matrix as a whole, as the entirety. And what we're trying always to look for is repetition. If we see repetitive issues coming up, those are areas that we need to focus on and peel that onion. We're always peeling the onion, right? And something that we always say, you know, because a lot of people say to me, well, how many times do I have to come to get better? Well, that always depends on the issue being addressed, but also our age. Because younger people obviously react quicker to what we're sending them and what we're doing on them, okay? As we grow older, as we age, the process becomes slower and always depending on the issue that we have to address. For instance, if someone is around, it usually goes as a rule of thumb, but it's, you know, everybody is also unique. So we have to also take in the unique factor involved. But usually, if a person, let's say, is 30 years old, they would need around 3 months to get back on track again. If a person is 80 years old, they would need therapy for at least 8 months to get back on track. Okay. Of course, it always depends on what we're facing. Okay. But as a general rule of thumb. Having said that, we're looking for repetition. So let's take a look at this first page. What is it telling us? Let's go one by one through everything. some of the items in the matrix are not only bad things, they're also remedies. Most of the items are remedies, so they're good for us, right? So it all depends on how we're reading in the matrix and what the item is and how what needs to be done. So the first one is spirulina. So apparently we need some spirulina, okay? Toxins. There's toxins and biological warfare, industrial toxins, toxic exposure, dental, sinus, emotional link to fear, angora is a rabbit, emotional link to fear, fear of sexual thoughts, but fear in general. We'll take it as that a miasm, inherited disturbances, dermatitis. So still, I don't have something that's repetitive here. Spinal, nerves. Okay, then we have bowel conditions. All right, improper phenols, compound of external source, emotional release, excess of blocked of another, trivial, more trivial than intended, Hawaiian lily. So Hawaiian lily is given to us for emotional release and excess blockage. So that's one, and here that's the second one of emotional link to fear. So two emotions coming up in the matrix so far. Toxic reaction. Two items of a toxic reaction. Toxins reactions, here we have industrial toxins and toxic reaction. Kidney. Okay, lymph. Degenerative conditions. Bowels again, second time for bowel. Joint strains, etc. Skin toxicity. We had skin somewhere before again. Now we're getting more on our plate. Vitamin C for our immune. Glutathione, which is great. A glutathione, I love glutathione, and that is the number one antioxidant in our body, and it seems like we need it. Helps with the mitochondria, it helps with oxygenation, it helps with our lungs, everything. Okay, and as we age, right, as we age, remember in the disease, aging factor, as we age, the glutathione production in our body is reduced, right? So it appears that we need glutathione, all right? Dental, second time. And somewhere in the disease, I remember we saw also loosening teeth. So 2 times here and plus in the disease, COVID, virus, pollen, allergies. This is second time allergies. So we have allergies, sinuses, more allergies, thoracic, glucagon, bronchitis, feelings of being hurt. So we have fear, we have blockage, we have feelings of fear, being hurt, fears coming up 2 times. Okay, eye sarcode, brain, stroke. So we have a multitude of things just in our first page. In our first page, we see emotions of fear. All right, we see allergies coming up. We see industrial toxins. Okay, these are repetitions. I'm giving you the repetitive. Allergies also, probably allergies and infection is also coming up. We see infection and COVID can create bronchitis as well. I don't like the fact that I see cerebral stroke. I have seen people within 6 months having a stroke after their COVID. So, even long COVID can create such a problem because COVID does create encephalitis. All right. So these are the main symptoms. So how would I work within my therapy? Just by seeing what I've seen so far, I would do the emotions of fear. I would work on the immune system. definitely, and on inflammation in general, and detoxing a person so that they can, take away those environmental strains of toxins, environmental toxins. Okay, that's like my first thing that I see on the matrix. What else do we see here in our little blue box? How our environment is playing a role on our physical self. Look at these two numbers. Okay, so in combination with what I see in the first page of the main matrix, our environment, maybe our environment is causing fear, our environment is low, all the toxins is lowering our immune system, and we're more susceptible. Okay, so we're getting a story. Slowly by slowly, we're getting that story. Okay. Now, a lot of people have asked me, how can I add an item to the matrix? In what situations would I want to add an item to the matrix? Some people may have a specific remedy that they want, okay, to send, and it's not in the matrix. Okay, a specific vitamin, a specific medication, but they're the frequency of the medication. Some people have even given me from the microbiological biopsy of a specific cancer that they had, and they wanted me to have it on the matrix so that we can zap it. All right. Anything you can imagine. That's the amazing thing with our device is if you have creativity, you can use it in so many different ways. And it's so amazing. All right. So what you do and how you put additional items in the matrix, you go to EPR enhancement and you go to stimulate and duplicate remedy. All right. Now, with this panel, you can do a lot of things, okay? But I'm going to show you right now of how to put an item from to a test tray. First of all, if you have a sample of something, let's say it's a specific sample of how I said, let's say a biopsy. Let's say Malvina's biopsy. Okay. What we do is we enter the name here, Malvina's biopsy. All right. We put the name of how we want to name it, and we put the item on the test tray. Okay. And we click Take Pattern from Test Tray. Now, our object is to get all three bars over the 50% range. Okay, we got one bar, really good test pattern. We got the pattern, great, but we would like at least all of them over 50 and one larger one. Okay, so let's do it again. Still, again, may take a couple of times. You want a good, strong frequency pattern that you're going to get. Identifying that item and getting it as a good voltammetric testing result. So now we got at least 2 higher numbers. We want the third, all 3 of them. Let's do it again. The higher, the better. Here we got the 2 bars at a good level. We want also the third one. Let's do it again. It dropped. Let's do it again. May take a while. Nope. Let's do it again. Okay, so we got the 2 bars at 50%, which is great, and the 1 bar even higher. So that's a good pattern that we got. Okay, if we get them higher, it's even better, but this is the baseline of what we want. So we can add the item to the matrix. Okay, it added it. Add item to the matrix. Oh, no. I did this. That was for a different, I needed to save the name, item saved. All right. And we close. So if we close this one and we go back to the index, all right, there we go. There it is. Okay. So what could we do with this? We could do a whole bunch of things with this. First of all, working the matrix. Let's work the matrix. Say if we want to measure now, do an individual reaction on that biopsy sample that we have here. Let's return to main and let's put according to value. And let's do an individual reaction. We can do a lot of things here with a matrix. I mean, we can do an entire session just here in the matrix, digging deeper and understanding things deeper and deeper. Okay. So individual reaction. What is this giving me? Okay. So obviously, because Malvina's biopsy sample is arbitrary because I don't have a biopsy sample. Okay. So, but it's okay because I want you to understand also the numbers being told here. First of all, total reaction. I'm reacting 44% to the biopsy sample, meaning that I'm not reacting. Anything under 50 and the lower the number is the less reacting. I'm not reacting to it, meaning that I don't have it. Okay. I'm not reacting. Am I resonating? A little 55. It's more of an emotional issue related to the biopsy sample rather than the actual physical self. It's more of an emotional, maybe psychosomatic. Okay. If I had an allergy reaction, it would have been also a higher number, but I don't even have an allergy reaction. Allergy reaction would actually be like inflammation around this area. And it's rectified 51%. What else is it telling me? Do sarcodal therapy and link to emotions and the need to change. Now, this is interesting because even in the first page of the matrix, a lot of emotions were coming up. The fear. Okay, so, and here emotions are coming up and need to change. Okay, so we can do either 3-minute zap or 30-second zap to get your rectification of over 85. There's some ways of working and digging deeper and deeper. Okay. So this is a 30-second zap. All right, and it went to 66, but you can do it over and over again till you get a good rectification. Now I'm just going to touch on a few things. There's so many things that we can do here on the matrix, and we teach this all in the technician and the specialist course and going deeper, but I'm just touching on certain things that you can do because it's really truly amazing of all the available functions that we have. So having said that, we can also do filters, our own filters. Like say if I want to see how much inflammation there is in my body. Let's see, inflammation. And I want to do like a little cocktail or of my own filter search. Okay. And we see that we have some infection in the lungs. Now that's interesting. And there's inflammation. Okay, going pleurities, that means there's some liquid in the lungs here. Bronchitis, remember, was coming up in the first few, let's say, in the first matrix. Here, some chronic inflammation. We have some inflammation going on here. Okay. So what can we do with this filter? We can, if you wish, go to the zap and we can do several things. We can, I'm not going to do them here, but I'm just showing you that we can zap from filter for 5 minutes. All right. And it will go for 5 minutes up this filter and do a therapy for 5 minutes, and you can get the rectification results here. Okay. We can also do specific therapy and change the quick zap that we have here. Remember, this is a quick zap, a few second zap treating, or we can auto focus zap for 3 minutes and change that quick zap to a 3-minute zap, and we can zap wherever the cursor is. Okay. Or we can change it to a 9-minute zap and zap for 9 minutes wherever the cursor is. Or we can do a custom timed zapping here that we can do it for 1 minute, changes it. You see, look, the bar goes 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and all the way up there to 15 minutes. All right. So there's different ways in that we can work, and by unzapping, it goes back to treat, a quick zap. Okay, so this treats or addresses the issues of where the cursor is at. Okay. Other things that we can do in the matrix. We can dig deeper. Let's say we want to dig deeper into that thing of multiple sclerosis that's coming up. Okay. Let's first off do an individual reaction and put it here and return to main. And let's do an individual reaction saying, you know, oh my God, do I have multiple sclerosis? Why is this coming up? I have no symptoms. I haven't done an MRI, but why is it coming up? It's only 61%. So why would it be in the fuchsias? It could be in the fuchsias because, and in the disease filter, because maybe it's due to chronic fatigue. And the way I'm going, maybe it'll come. It's only I'm reacting to it, only 61%. It's over 50. there, not 90, not, it's 61%. And I'm resonating it, emotional factor involved a little bit more. Okay, I need more enzymes. I need to eat better. Okay, remember the protons, electrons. Not enough fruits and vegetables there. So, and I need more enzymes as we age. There's also that factor of not having enough enzymes. Glutathione was coming up that it's giving us. Okay, so a nutritional factor needed that's aging me or us. Okay, but the good thing is that I got an 86% rectification just by doing the individual reactions, so nothing else is needed. Let's go a little deeper. Let's see, possibly, if I filter my main matrix and go to vitamins, let's say, what vitamins does the device, my unconscious, suggest that would help me alleviate this? So if I choose a filter, right, I can test the item against this filter, and let's see what comes up. To play with the matrix so much. There's so much that you can do. All right, so shark cartilage is coming up. Okay, methyl guard for healthy arteries to help. Okay, this is very important to help with the circulation. Very important. Migraine and dizziness. Well, aconitum homeopathic remedy. Some B vitamins are coming up, vitamin D and B12. So possibly we can also ask the client to do some exams, see where their B12 is at, see where their vitamin D is at. You can always give the metal guard. That's fine. It's safe to give. Okay. Let's also look at the minerals. What minerals may be needed to alleviate this issue? Some thyroid support. Ozone for oxygenation. Some pascosan pulver. Okay. Some aminophosphate and vitamins. Vitamin C with magnesium and calcium. Mineral form of vitamin C. Calcium ascorbate. Okay. For a mineral form of vitamin C. We need to up our immune system. So because our immune system has been compromised in some way, we did see in the first pages in the reds, our immune system was compromised with COVID, with bronchitis. Some other infections were coming up. So we need, and also the environmental issues with heavy metals, etc. Those are issues that may be affecting us and reducing our immune system, thus turning into the autoimmune issues. Okay. We can go to emotions, right? And see what emotions may be triggering this issue. All right. Resentment, denial, abandonment, things like that. So when we start digging in deeper, you not only see these items, but you can also do therapy on these items, right? How? By just double clicking. When you double click on these items, you're also doing therapy. So also all the other items that we had filtered here, we can do therapy, and it's good to do therapy. If you do them once, that's fine. But if you do also a deeper therapy, you can do it over and over again until each one gets rectified over 85 and excellent in shaping. All right, so going through them, you can do the therapies. I want to show you something else. Now here I got excellent and rectification for the denial. When you have your little blue box here, show info report, your little blue box, notice that the denial that I just put up and I did a therapy on also came here. If I click on just one time on these items, I'm not doing a therapy, but I'm putting them in my little blue box as a piggyback. So either double clicking on something will do a therapy, or single clicking them will not do a therapy, but will put them on piggyback so you can load them, and they're loaded throughout your entire session and being worked on as a piggyback. All right. So those are certain ways that you can work with your main matrix. There are also other ways that you can work with your main matrix. For instance, if you empty your info box, you can empty your little info box and put a cocktail in here, right? You can put a cocktail, meaning that if you have like Bach flowers, let's say if you want to put these, all your here items here, a lot of fears coming up, or also, emotions around fear, in general, what else is coming up? Angora. You can put a cocktail of up to 8 items, let's say, fear. And what you do is you can load those items here, and you can do a 3-minute, a 9-minute, a custom time zap. I'm just going to do a quick zap. So what we're doing is, in essence, we've loaded our cocktail, and we're also doing a therapy here on where the arrow is. Okay, but we're also doing it on what is in the loaded blue box, your cocktail. There's so many things that we can do, okay, with the matrix. Having said that, do we have any questions so far? I don't see any questions, so that's good. If you have any questions, feel free, or if you have them later on, I could answer them in our, how do you call, a group chat, or make another webinar, as I said in the beginning. So these are different ways that we can work with a matrix and have, let's say, an infinite ways of working with a person. You can, there's so many, I have here some filters that we can use. I have my little cheat sheet. One moment. All right, so here, sorry. we can put search items like AcuMeridian, all right, and we could see which meridian is mostly, let's say, reacting, and doing therapy on that, and getting even more information by putting it here and then filtering either the main matrix, getting more information on the meridian, or let's say emotions around that meridian. You know, you could do so many things. AcuMeridian. We can, brain, I showed you. Ongo, I showed you. Another one of my favorite one is RTC, resistance to change, because resistance to change is a one thing that is an issue for most people, and the unconscious resistance to change. Let's take a look. Items that are coming up over 90. Walnut Bach flower. Oversensitive to any other ideas. And 2 items from our teeth. Now our teeth are coming up. Where did we see? Somewhere we saw in the disease loose teeth. Loose teeth. Loose teeth. There. And we also saw in the main matrix teeth. So maybe, you know, that gives us also indications of that we need to work with teeth and the dental program. Always indications everywhere in the matrix. Also, another thing that was coming up is the aging. Let's look at age. Age. Okay, this is another good one. People ask me, what do these things mean with the age when they come up? If they come up over 90, the age, biological age 80, let's say, and it's in the high numbers, or biological age 30. Biological age 30 is that we feel like we are 30 years old. It's a lot of times biological age 80 comes up, or biological age 100 come up, and it's in the high numbers. It means that a person is really tired and they feel like they are 100 years old. Okay, that's what that means. So it's good if these age things don't come up, but the fact that, I don't know, our mean as a group, our mean age should be over a 30, so we're younger than what we all feel young. That's good. That's good. Okay, but aging is a factor that's coming up in general. We saw here the age growing old. So for some of our issues, we need to look into that and why we're aging and what is our the issues. And we can filter that, as I said, just like I filtered the other things. We can do the individual reaction. We do testing against, you know, vitamins, minerals, the entire matrix. Let's do the entire matrix. I put it to main matrix and I filtered that aging. Let's see what information is going to come up and the story being told. Interesting. Kidney infection, incesticides. That's a flu. Past, present, flu. Repetitive thought patterns, insomnia. These are all issues that are aging us. I accept that I am love. I accept that my body, my thinking, my feeling are a manifestation of my creating self. And anxiety and shock, aconitum. Somewhere before, we also saw aconitum. Okay, so these are factors that are aging us. Okay, and COVID is a flu that also we have seen this over and over again that a lot of people have aged after passing COVID. Okay, so this is a factor that's coming up. You see, the device is always telling us a story, and we have to figure it out and dig always deeper and deeper and peel that onion. All right. Madalena, very good question, and I'd like to go over that right now for you. First of all, and this is something that I always teach in our technician course, because first off, only doctors can diagnose. We do not diagnose. We reduce stress, and we see the basic cause of an issue. We do not diagnose. Okay, and that is a reason why we need everybody to go through the technician course and learn this and learn the proper language that we use, because only doctors can diagnose. Okay, when we have the diagnostics, we have a person can come to us with a diagnosis of a doctor, and we can see the root cause of their issue. Yes. If a person does not have a diagnosis and they have symptoms, we can see the root cause of their issue for their symptom. Okay, but we don't find out what the specific disease is. Okay, if we keep seeing issues of let's say we see it over and over again, a stroke, or we see over and over again the multiple sclerosis, we will send them to go get an MRI and say, look, it's a good idea for you to get an MRI, and we'll see from there. According to what the MRI said, and maybe we send them to a doctor if multiple sclerosis, let's say, does keep going up. But you never tell them, I see this. Okay, they may see the matrix on the screen. They may see it, and you can tell them, okay, I do see this. But if we have follow-up sessions and you keep seeing it, then I would suggest to go get, and they have symptoms, it's a good idea to get an MRI done. That's what I would say. Sometimes when a person comes the first time, you see a lot of things because they are off. They're not doing what they should be doing in their daily lifestyle. They're not eating properly. They're not drinking their waters properly. And so you see a lot of things. Okay, and sometimes it may take 3 or 4 sessions for you to have a clearer picture of what's going on. So the first 4 sessions can be, clearing them up, peeling that onion, getting them back on track, and then we see what's going on. That's another reason why I usually ask for blood examinations and certain tests like a ultrasound, top and bottom ultrasound, so that I know and I can understand what I'm seeing and what's actually happening with their exams. Okay. Okay, so I'm here for you for whenever you wish. I hope you enjoyed our webinar today. I hope I answered certain questions. I know there's so much to learn, and practice makes perfect when you work the matrix the way we're doing this. But if you have any questions, you can contact me and I'll be happy to help you. We'll be doing more webinars. I love you all. Thank you. You are so amazing, all of you. Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you, Madalena. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Soren, Maria, everybody. Thank you. Adriana, Haram, everyone. I love you all. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.